Sugami and her friends deal with witches and traitors in my review of Soul Eater Not, Episode 3. Soul Eater Not is certainly not Soul Eater. It annoys me so much that I kind of wish they would have changed the title to something else and maybe put Soul Eater as like the subtitle. All I know is, it's sort of got this whole Gundam Build Fighters effect for me, where I thought the show was going to be completely awful and completely unwatchable, and yet, I find myself being sucked into this show and its ridiculous, overly adorable and bubbly characters, but I can't wait to see where they're going to go with them and how this is going to tie into the entire Soul Eater mythos. What I will say what I liked about this episode is they are starting to develop the three characters a little bit more, and you get to see like this whole dynamic between them is that it's sort of a love triangle. They're not outright saying it, but all I'm gonna say is the Yuri is strong with this one. In this week's episode, our three leading ladies will have to deal with a group of traitors and Kim, who's a real witch. She's basically like the hard-ass warden of this dormitory, and she just sort of walks around, holds up people for money, and even if you ask her for something, she'll charge you for that. She has no problem with this at all. And it is explained by Eternal Feather that when she first came to the school, everybody loved her. She was just cute and bubbly and adorable, but over time, everybody sort of just turned sour towards her actual personality, and she became very unpopular with everybody because she just started charging everybody up the ass for everything. We also learned that Eternal Feather's name is actually not a cruel joke by her parents. This was all Kim's doing. Apparently they were in the same class, and Kim changed her name to Eternal Feather. That's her brand new stage name. That's something you can actually do at the DWMA. Same thing for like Soul Eater. His actual name is Soul Eater Evans, but he just calls himself Soul Eater, and they can only change that every 2 years, so Eternal Feather is sort of stuck with this name until she can change it. It's a pretty funny explanation for a very goofy sounding name, one that only a few members of the main cast can actually remember. But the actual main girls this week, the conflict between them seems to be that Anya always wants to be with Sugami, and you can see that there are definitely some Yuri undertones all over this. I'm not saying that it's going to be outright all Yurified, but maybe they're just really, really close friends. I don't know. All I know is Anya ends up getting paired up with this one kid who has these headphones on, and he's completely dismissive, and he doesn't really do anything. I was kind of hoping this guy would do something else. After the class session, Anya's all disappointed, and she walks outside, and she runs into this one traitor, and he has this, like, weird claw on his finger, and he has this weird, freaky-looking eye, which has this symbol on it, which is the same one that's on his jacket, and I'm not really sure what his affiliation is going to be quite yet. They may have hinted at it in this episode, but I'm still not quite sure where they're taking it. But this fight scene ensues, which is very well animated, where Anya is going up against this guy, and then she gets a little bit of help from Mei and Sugami, and then the scene gets stolen when Akane and Clay come in, and I think it's very appropriate that Clay actually transforms into a big sword. Claymore, sword. It's a nice little thing they do, but this immediately scares the traitor away, and that's when they do this cutaway to this one scary-looking chick who they show in the intro of the show, and I'm guessing this is the sister of Arachne and Medusa, the other Gorgon sister, and I can't wait to see what she's going to be capable of, if that's actually who this is. I've been told that she is probably going to appear in the series, and that seems like the most likely candidate at this point. But otherwise, the rest of the episode had a lot of that good, old-hearted, bubbly cheesiness that just gives you that nice, warm feeling inside, especially at the end when you see the return of the character of Ox, who basically gets all of Sugami and her friend's money back because of what Kim did, and that's because Ox is obsessed with Kim. He's in love with her. See the original Soul Eater anime, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And there's also a nice appearance by Jacqueline this week, who has a completely different appearance. She seems a little more put together, and she's also displaying her badass weapon, which... Funny thing about Jacqueline, her powers and her, like, name, it took a long time for that to dawn on me, the fact that she transforms into a fiery lantern and her name is Jacqueline. Jack-o'-lantern, you know, it's pretty obvious. But it's really cool that they're showing off some of the old characters and showing what they're still capable of. And, you know, still, I think there's a lot of potential for the show. There are times when the artwork could look a little better. Sometimes the faces are distorted in some pretty strange ways. But for the most part, the animation and the color scheme look really good and they're very eye-catching. The action scene this week was very exhilarating, even though it was very brief. All the characters are very funny. You know, I thought they were going to be very annoying, but they're actually starting to grow on me a little bit. I'm still not sure what's up with Sugami and the whole Gigantos thing. It's like her weird saying that she says. and it always involves when, like, Anya's around. I'm not really sure what to take from this. Maybe someone could explain with the comments below. But otherwise, it was a pretty good episode that ended with Kim helping out Anya after she got scratched by that traitor guy with her crazy regeneration abilities, which creates a goofy-looking bandage. And she has a little confrontation with Jacqueline, which we can assume at this point they're probably not partners yet, and that's because Kim is in this Not group, which is where Sugami is, and then there's the Eat group. That's the guys who are like badasses. That's like Sol and Maka's group. So, okay episode, a lot better than last week's. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 this week. Like I said, some of the artwork was a little strange this week, but for the most part, this was just an entertaining, fun, and funny episode that is starting to plant the seeds for a bigger story. So check it out, guys. Cool episode. If you guys had a chance to check out this week's episode of Soul Eater Not, I would love to hear your thoughts about it, and you can tell me with your comments below. What is up with that weird traitor guy and his creepy claw? And who is that one mysterious girl who appeared for just like one split second? And what do you want to see from the future of Soul Eater Not and from the future of Soul Eater? Remember, if this series is popular enough, we might actually get like something of a Soul Eater brotherhood in the future, so check this out. It's always a good thing. And remember, guys, before you leave, make sure and give this video a like, hit the thumbs up button. It really helps out the videos tremendously. And if you want to see all of our latest anime and manga reviews, make sure and subscribe to the channel. You can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links to both of those in the description box below. So, I'll see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.